Okay, there's one other kind of inequality equation that we have to be able to solve, and that's when you have to do some multiplying. But before we talk about that, I wanted to point out that it's very different when you have an inequality in the middle than it is an equal sign. Let's see. So if I have 5 is greater than 4, that's true. But if I multiply both sides by -1, so that I now have -5 and -4, it's not true anymore. Something happens when you multiply by that -1 that changes things. And it makes my sign in the middle wrong. But if I flipped my sign the other way, it's true again. So, when you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number, the direction of the inequality must be reversed. That's very important. You need to write that down. Must be reversed. It's not any big deal when we have like an equal sign, you know, 5 equals 4. If I multiply both sides by a -1, yeah, it's not going to matter. I'm at -5, you know, it just doesn't matter. But that equal sign, it does matter. So we just need to remember that when we're multiplying or divided by a -1, you have to flip the sign. Okay? Now, let's look at a couple of examples for that. All right, m divided by 4 is greater than or equal to -2. Okay, so if I'm going to solve that, what's being done here is division. So to undo it, I'm going to multiply by 4 on both sides. And I have m here, and I have 8 here. Now, I did not multiply by a negative number. See this right here? I multiply by a +4. So I'm not going to do anything to my sign. We only do that whenever we multiply by a negative number. So it just stays the same. M is greater than -8. And then we have to decide which side we're going to shade on. This is going to be a closed circle at 8. I'm going to pick my 0 point here. 0 is greater than 8. 0 is greater than 8. That is not true. So that means that is not a solution. So I cannot shade that direction, and I'm going to have to shade the other direction. All right, this one, I've got a 3, and this time it's being multiplied. So to undo that, I'm going to divide. Over here I have m, and -21 divided by -3 is, +3 is -7. Now, I did have a negative here, but I didn't divide by a negative. So since I didn't divide by a negative, I don't need to flip the sign. So I'm going to keep the sign just the way it is. So I'm going to need a closed circle here at -7. I'm going to need to put my 0 in here to try it out. -7 is greater than 0. -7 is greater than 0. That is not true. So 0 is not a solution. We are going to shade that direction. All right, now this one. In order to get rid of that 9, or that -9, I have to divide by -9. And I have to do it on both sides. Now this time, I did divide by a negative. Right here, divided by a negative. So I am going to have to change my sign, but I'm going to just do my number here first. I'm going to get -4. Now, instead of it being a greater than sign, I'm going to change it to a less than sign. So I'm going to put my open circle this time, because there isn't that the equal sign underneath my inequality. Right? So open circle at -4. I'm going to pick my point, and I'm going to do 0 again. You can pick any number you want, but I like 0. It's easy. It's always easy to compare something to 0. Negative 4 is less than 0. That is true. Negative 4 is less than 0. So I'm going to shade over here. That is a solution, so I'm going to shade that direction. Okay, and that is how you do it. Just that one little thing you have to remember about flipping the sign when you divide or multiply by a negative.